Welcome to Bass University Live. Good to have you guys with us. Good to have you with me this morning, Justin. We got Rich and Jocelyn headed to ICAST. The whole industry's headed to ICAST, but me and you are holding down the fort.
That's right. We're staying back and getting some real work done.
No, it's going to be the first ICAST that I missed in probably 15 years or so. But
Wow.
yeah, I'm glad we have a great team down there. We're going to be working with some amazing anglers, including John Cruz, Brian Thrift, and many more. Brian Schmidt sticks out as some of the guys that we're planning to work with down there.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse, Pete. We could be in Florida in July. It's the weather makes me want to come home after we're there for a day anyway. So
I know, man. Our delicate northern blood doesn't deal with that heat and humidity so much.
Rain, heat, and humidity. That's Florida in July.
That is. But I am, and we're going to be talking about a few of the things that are going on down there, including some of the new baits we're looking at. We're getting a little sneak peek at a bunch of things from Big Bite Baits, Yamamoto. John Cruz has got a great new jig head out, as well as a scoping bait, a minnow bait. So with missile baits. So we're going to be looking at a few of those things, talking about a few of those things. Last time I talked to you, Justin, I was down at the beach down at Ocean City, and Jake and I managed to get out and get a little flounder fishing. And it turns out flounder like thump gel, just like bass like.
Okay, well, that makes sense. What color did you use? The pink one? That's the one I would have reached for.
We had pink and we had the chartreuse, and we used them both. They one of the hot colors we were using, that gulp bait. It was great, man. We were putting thump gel on gulp. It's like a magic combination, and that orange, that fluorescent orange, was a big deal down there for some reason. That caught all of our bigger fish. But we had a lot of fun today. We've got the college national champs on today, and very excited to talk to them because it was a spectacular win. It was a tie that went into a fish off. Justin, I haven't even seen this going on. I mean, I saw Ike do it about a decade ago, and before that, it seemed like 25 years before we had a fish off.
Was Ike breaking the rod over his knee? That was in Texas, right? For that fish off.
I think I'm pretty sure that's where it was.
Was that the last actual fish off in a higher end tournament?
Man, that would be my best guess. It just doesn't happen that often. I mean, with the digital scales, they're it's very difficult to get a tie, and but man, it happens. I remember I was part of one. I wasn't in the fish off, but I was in the tournament, and the weigh-in had concluded, and they actually started the clock ticking from the weigh-in scale. So the guys ran to their boats.
Oh, no kidding.
Because the clock had started. So they ran to their boats and took off. That had to be like 100 years ago. But, I don't know. I'm looking forward to talking to these guys about what that was like. Did they have, a takeoff time and weigh?
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Yeah, let's dive in to see what that actually was like. I saw the highlight reel, and I know a lot of you guys probably watched it or saw the highlight, but it's pretty amazing little deal and a great win for those guys. Shout out to Drew Cook for winning the NPFL up on Thousand Islands. Sight fishing, doing what he does, man. He ran a million miles and stared at fish in 5 feet of water, smallies this time, and got a sight fishing win. I want to invite you guys to go check out Drew Cook's sight fishing class at Bass University. It is eye-opening, is the best way to describe it. I've been sight fishing for years, and when you hear things that you just haven't heard before, you realize that guys are moving that bar, and Drew Cook is at the top of that list, moving finding new techniques and strategies to win that way. And I know we mentioned congrats on his win down on the Potomac, on the Bass Pro Tour. That was a great win. We all watched that. I think we talked about that a little bit, and as well as talked about it with him. But we are real excited to talk about or visit with these guys. I know this is an interesting tournament, and we'll dive into it with them because they used a variety of techniques, which is really cool. We think about the younger generation as being pure scopers, and they are, but they used a variety of techniques. So we'll get into all that good stuff, and then later on we're going to talk about some of the new stuff at ICAST, and we'll have the sub of the week this week, and we'll be doing all things Bass University. So glad to have you guys with us. And without any further ado, Justin, let's bring in the boys.
All right.
There they are. Welcome to the show, Garrett Smith and Andrew Blanton, BASS national champs. Now, number one, congratulations, amazing work. How's it feel?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It feels amazing. It's great.
That's awesome.
It feels pretty good. We appreciate you having us.
Man, it's great to have you guys. Now, I was listening to your, I think came across one of my social feeds where you guys said repeat or something like that. Is this the second time?
Yes, sir. We won the same tournament last year at Lake Hartwell. It was the Natty last year on Hartwell.
Wow, that's too bad. That's impossible. That's incredible on such a tough field with so many boats to win back-to-back national championships, man. We got to dive in here, man. You guys got something special going on.
Yeah. Let's do
it. Well, I tell you what, the first thing it was cracking me up, and I apologize because I don't know who these anglers were, but they were some of your competitors that were putting up some posts, and they were hysterical. After fishing Cherokee, they're like saying stuff like, "Have you ever felt like you were dying?" Or just ragging on how tough the fishing was on that lake.
Yeah, I mean it was something else. I tell you, I mean I really don't think there's a whole lot of fish in there. I think it's more of like you get around some fish and you can catch some fish, but getting around the fish, like it was hard. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of places or areas with fish, it seemed like.
Yeah, I think we fished for like 13 hours the first day of practice and caught one keeper, and it was a smallmouth in the back of a pocket. It was lost.
Yeah, it was lost. 18 inches.
That's crazy tough conditions. I mean, is it just because it was summertime, or is the lake that difficult of a lake all the time? Do you guys even know?
It's a mix probably of summertime, that lake being just tough in general. Like he said, not a big fish population and boat pressure.
Yeah. I mean,
we're talking about. Go ahead, Andrew.
I was just gonna say, I would say, and he mentioned the boat pressure. I mean, especially the second day of the tournament, there was probably, 90 out of the 154 boat field in a 5-mile stretch of the lake, and it was they just got beat to death, too.
Wow, what? Everybody was wadded up. You would think that. Why were they wadded up? What was causing them to concentrate so hard?
Just productive stretch. That was the productive stretch of the lake, man. Really, and even that little 5-mile stretch had that many boats, and I would still say 90% of the field was above the Highway 25 bridge, which is just the top third or top quarter of that lake.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We actually were sharing water with the leaders from day 2, and we were in a 1/4-mile stretch, and we were running the bank, and he was out there working the bridge and a bridge on up the river.
Okay. Well, I thought that was pretty cool because when I guess we're used to these tournaments in the summertime taking place, and guys are, they're scoping as the dominant weapon. But man, you guys bucked that system and went fishing on the bank.
Yeah, that's how we did it last year, and that's how that helped us do it this year. I mean, this was a tournament. It was just a weird tournament altogether, and we can get more into it, but it was all about managing fish, and we caught some really key fish up shallow. We caught some really key fish, deep too. So we knew that going into the tournament, we wouldn't be able to win the tournament doing one thing or fishing deep or just fishing shallow. So.
Well, with such a tough tournament, I guess that's got to be the case. Were a lot of guys fishing shallow, or were you guys doing that by yourself?
Yeah, there was a lot of boats shallow because there was a really good flipping bite. The water was pretty high for Cherokee, so there's a lot of bushes in the water, a lot of bank grass. There was a lot of boats shallow. We just had we had 3 particular stretches to ourselves, and then we had patterned part of what those shallow fish were on, so it let us expand our area.
Okay. Well, you said 150 boats in this field, and man, I thought, it's been the case where these fields have been massive. Are they trying to cut the field down to make it a little bit more manageable, or what do you think?
The national championship, our regular season events run from all the way up to like 270. It gets insane.
Yeah. It gets insane.
You guys. With 150 boats, you had to be like, this is awesome, man. You found a few stretches to fish by yourself. That was awesome.
Yeah, and it's still like us college guys, we all somehow get on the same fish. So I guess that's the same with any tournament, organization. Everybody seems to find the same kind of stuff, but that's just how it goes. But yeah, 150 boats definitely felt better than 250 to 300 or whatever sometimes.
Well, you guys split your fish out, and you fished shallow, right? And take me through those patterns. I think swim jig, or what was your shallow pattern?
The biggest thing we had going shallow was a buzzbait. I got it right here. It's a True South V-twin buzz frame. Same thing we won the national championship on last year, and we just had, like we were talking about, we had a small stretch of the river, really keying in on like bank grass and stretches with shad. And these stretches in this river were just they were inside channel swings that had little stretches of bank grass. And it would be like a 40-yard section of a quarter-mile of bank, and they would all be grouped up right there.
Wow. Yeah. Did the grass grow that whole length of bank, or was it just like an isolated patch of it?
There was throughout the bank, there would be smaller productive stretches, but there was bushes and just it didn't really grow on the whole stretch. But I'd say like there'd be like a 20-yard section where you might get 2 bites, and then you might go a little bit and get another bite towards the end of the stretch or something.
Okay. What was this, like a shad spawn thing happening? What do you think was going on in that grass?
I don't really know. We saw some shad spawn early in practice, but it was way on the lower end. I just think fish really hard. They relate to shad really hard, especially in that river. And the shad just kind of would pull up in that grass in the mornings, whether it was to hide or do whatever. And those fish would slide up with them. And then once the sun got up, they just kind of pull back out.
Yeah, excellent. Well, this is interesting information, because I'm going to ask you guys some questions, because we're going to the high school national championship in 2 weeks down at Clark's Hill. So I'm not allowed to ask. We're not allowed to get any information about Clark's Hill, but the patterns really seem like they might play down there. You guys did one at Hartwell doing it. You won at Cherokee doing that same pattern. I think I might want to stop talking about it, because my son's competition are all going to be listening to this show.
Yeah. I tell you what. Now I will say they're different. They're a little different kind of bites. Because both of us love to fish for brim eaters. Fish, eating brim, sitting around brim beds, wolf packing down the bank and stuff. And man, we tried that for 2 days, just trying to make that work, because that's what we like to do, fishing shade lines with a buzz bait and a popper or stuff like that. And after we did that for 2 days, we were like, holy crap, these fish don't eat brim like they do around the house, So that's when we figured out the shad, they was keying in so heavy on shad that's why we think they got in the bank grass so good. But at Hartwell, they were, they're straight brim eaters. They're wolf packing down the bank, and they're in groups of 3 and 4, sometimes 10, and you just never know. And they're wolf packing. They're looking for a brim. So
I get right. Well, we'll be looking for that too in a couple of weeks. And
yes, sir.
But you guys whacked them early on the buzzbait, the white toad. Or what happened after that, right? You guys got that early morning shad deal going, and how'd you keep it going?
So it's kind of interesting. So the first day we were boat one. Since we won the year before, we got to go out first. That was kind of that's what they did for us, and they do it every year. And we got to get up there early, and we actually caught, I think, all of our weight besides maybe one fish flipping a trash mat, just kind of a random place. But we caught all of our weight early the first day, and we had like almost 15 pounds. So we just kind of laid off that stuff, and we went exploring the first day. But like he talked about earlier, the second day, we had the boats up there was just insane. So we tried to fish new water and try to manage our fish. So we started on some fresh water that we hadn't fished at all in practice, shallow. We're able to catch a couple keys, and I'll let him talk to you about the deep stuff because he was able to really figure it out.
Yeah, so we, like you say, we knew that we had to do something else. So we, in practice for it was probably like the last 3 or 4 hours of the final day of practice, we were like, well, we knew that we found a couple of productive areas and stretches for shallow. So we was like, well, we should probably spend some time idling and stuff. And we idled some, just looking for points or, like rock points, because a lot of times on the bank, you can't see where the rock comes out. But, we were just idling, just points and looking for like rock transition or anywhere the rock just made a point or anywhere that there was an isolated section of rock. Cause like Cherokee is like straight rock, it's everywhere. You can't really get away from it. And anytime, the rock made a point, or there's just anything different, more isolated and like just isolated off the main rock, like anything like that. And we probably marked 7 or 8 places where we were able to turn around and, catch one in practice. And most of the time, I will say, like, our best place that we found, we caught like a 12-incher off of it in practice. And we were like, I will say on day 2, towards the end of the day, we were kind of getting spun out. Our shallow fish, like you say, they were beat on, and we pulled up to 1 point, and they, like I say, we caught a 12-incher there in practice. And I'd say the first 3 casts, I caught a smallmouth like over 3 pounds, and then we proceeded in the last 30 minutes of the day to catch 2 more like over 3-pounders, which is a good one for there. And so that bumped us up to 15 something, which was our biggest bag of the week. So
what was the deal? Like were you drop shotting those rocks or a scope or what were you doing?
So he actually caught one of our fish in our bag that day on a drop shot on the rock pile, and that was definitely a way to get some bites. But the main thing was we was throwing a jig, like a football jig, a 3/4 ounce jig, and just a lot of times you wouldn't be able to see the school on the point. But this particular point where we just sat there and caught 3 good ones off of, there was probably 40 of them. And I'd throw that jig, we'd throw the jig out there, and it was weird. We let the jig fall through the school because the school wasn't really on the bottom. For whatever reason, I don't really know why. But they were kind of sitting just above the rocks, and, we'd just make repeated casts, and eventually one of them would just go down and bite it. It was something. We caught three good ones pretty quick.
Wow. That sounds a lot like some of the patterns that, some of the guys are using out on tour, using that big 3/4 ounce greenfish tackle jig and just really just kind of almost dead sticking it.
Yeah.
And those fish are coming down and biting it.
Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, if it goes through them and you watch a few fish, more than one, if you watch more than one fish go down on it, you pick up and he's got it. You don't really have to work it a whole lot.
Right. What was your trailer on the 3/4 ounce jig?
That Missile Baits, I think it's Baby D Chunk is my favorite. I actually ran out of those, and I think I was using a small Strike King. I can't think of the name of it, but just any kind of small trailer. On the 3/4. I mean, I was trimming the skirt, just as compact. The more compact, the better. I felt like, just because, those fish it's just hot and muggy and tough, and it's not like we're fishing for 3-pounders and 3 and 4 pounders, not 5 plus. So, and some smallmouth in the mix too.
Nice. Well, we interviewed Tyler Williams about it, and man, it sounds like that's the kind of strategy that he's employed a lot to great success. You guys are using a similar pattern. That was great to find, and the isolated rocks was key. And well, what happened then? That was we have a day 3 in this tournament, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, we since we caught all our weight off our shallow stretches early the first day, we didn't have to. We tried to not fish them the second day, trying to manage our fish, knowing there's just not a lot to go around with all the boat pressure. So since we didn't start up there on day 2, well, day 3 we're sitting in second. We run straight up there, and we made 2 passes on all our stuff up there, and we had I caught a couple good ones on a buzzbait, and then he caught a couple keepers behind me, flipping a jig through that bank grass and jig around. And I think we had 4 from our shallow stretches, and then we started rotating back down our offshore stuff out through the river, and then out around where we caught our fish, the offshore fish on the second day.
Man, well, that had to feel good on day 3 with all that pressure, getting 4 in the boat quick. That had to feel pretty good. But man, you had some guys breathing down your neck, obviously.
Oh yeah. It was stressful, man. It was really stressful.
Well, this is exciting because I saw the weigh in, and you guys were 4 guys in the hot seat, and you tied. I mean, it's just so uncommon for something like that to happen. Were you guys prepared for that? Did you guys know what was going to happen?
Heck no, man.
No, we were both tore up. I mean, I don't even know how we made it up on the stage. I thought we was going to pass out before we got there. But it was something. Ooh, it was something.
So you're going to. He's letting you know. Okay, here we go. This is a tie. We're going to have a fish off. Take me through that. Like, I've never been in one. What happens next when you get off stage? Do they have another takeoff, or how did that go down?
Yeah, the only other fish off I've ever heard of is when I accidentally broke that rod down there in Texas.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, it's a tie, and I think that Glenn, our college series director, he's like, you guys are probably going fishing. I'm gonna make sure, and we got it settled away. And they're like, yeah, everybody go back to the boats and get situated.
So you did. You're in your boat, and then he just says, okay, go. And there you guys go. Now your places, and I read this, where you guys were fishing, your primary stuff was far away, but so you guys not to go to that.
Yes, we knew that just through talking with everybody in the bag line that the Carson Newman boys said they were catching them right by the ramp, and we hadn't caught a keeper besides that one lost smallmouth within 20 minutes of the boat ramp all week, and we're like, yeah, if they get their stuff up, it's game over. It ain't even gonna matter. We'll still be running for while they catch one. Like, it was. Oh, we were stressed. That idle is a pretty long no wake zone at Cherokee, and that idle out was the longest idle of my life, dude.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was. We were just like, well, let's just go get on the closest point that we can, because I mean, it was like he said, by the time that they got to their spot, and we were going to be still running, they would have done caught one. So
yeah,
but it worked out. I mean, I think the rock pattern, played all over the lake, because we ended up pulling up on that point, and there was some isolated rock right there, and there was 3 or 4 sitting on top of it, and sure enough, I mean, it was pretty instant there.
Yep, we just pulled over right outside the boat ramp on, the first little point right outside the ramp, and That's what then you see the clip. It was like 5th or 6th cast. They went down on his jig. I'm worried about what's going on with my rod. I'm just watching his, hoping it bites it.
Yeah.
That's a thrill of a lifetime. And had you seen that rock point before? You just picked it off the map, or what was that? What was that deal?
So, it was just one close by. We were coming in, and we had a boat. Another competitor had stopped right somewhere near there, and they were talking about catching them close to the ramp. So we're like, we're just going to pull up somewhere close to the ramp too, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's the thrill of victory. And what were the second place guys? What were their names? What was their team?
They were
it was
Carson
Newman.
Carson Newman guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to those guys. I mean, you guys both won the tournament. You know,
and they were a class act. I
Yeah.
want to say them guys, and they're still younger in their careers. They have a long and a great future in college fishing ahead of them.
Absolutely.
They were.
Yeah, and I really hated that it had to end that way. I would have just rather, one of us had the bigger bag. But, I hate it because I know it, how stressful it was for the both of us. And just knowing, getting that phone call and saying somebody caught a keeper. I mean, that's devastating. But like you say, they had a good week, and, they got a career ahead of them. I'm pretty sure both of them are freshmen. So,
wow.
And they were super nice, and like you said, shout out to them for sure.
Yes. Yeah, they do have a long career, and this is your second one, but yeah, that had to be. I mean, it's got to be devastating to lose like that. I know anybody that's done this game, for any length of time, I've lost my or
Right.
a couple ounces, and it's crushing. It's a crushing defeat, but to lose like that, I imagine. Ike's response when it happened is not all that uncommon.
If I'd have got that phone call, it would have been a borderline crash out like that.
Yeah, right. I can't imagine being in the boat. Right. What would? I guess you get a phone call.
Yes. So they put a cameraman in the boat with you, and we had Chase Sansom. He's him and Logan Crumley are the two photographers for bass, and those are both awesome guys. They put Chase in our boat and Logan in the Carson Newman boat, and we blast off, and they give us a Bassmaster measuring board, like a ruler, and you have to measure it, and then Chase has to call Logan and tell him we caught one, and they'll time stamp it, and that's it.
Wow. Okay. Well, man, and I saw your celebration, man. I mean, I get it, Yeah, I can't. It's euphoric, man. What a great call! Your first stop, a few casts, and so much could have gone wrong. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
Could have jumped off. Could have broke off your line. Did you have a chance to retie? Are you even thinking about that? And losing it. So much could have went wrong, but you guys executed perfectly. Man, what that moment. That's you guys are gonna remember that forever.
Absolutely,
I won't
forget it.
That's tremendous because the last time, obviously, it's not that. I mean, you won. It's a thrill, but winning like this, man, it's something special. It'll go down. It'll go to history books. And shout out to Glenn Kale, the tournament director. He runs the youth and high school and college series. So we'll be seeing him in a couple weeks. But I watched him commentate that and crown you guys the winner, man. That's spectacular stuff. So are you seniors this year? Is this your last year of eligibility?
So I'm a junior. I'm a junior this year. I just finished up my junior year.
Okay.
But so I'm starting my senior year, but I'm going to do a 5th year in college so I can I'll fish an extra year.
Yep. So for me, I just finished up my 5th year. I graduated with my undergrad in 4 years. I got my bachelor's, and then I went back and got my master's to use my 5th year eligibility. And I worked the GA program through Lander. They let me do that, which helped a bunch, and I could use my 5th year eligibility. So
are you retired now, Garrett? Are you
basically? I have a few classes to finish up this fall, but I'm pretty much done with college fishing. This was supposed to be my last Bassmaster unless we won it, which now I get to go to the bracket and maybe the classic. We'll go from there. But
yeah,
I've pretty much finished up my college fishing career, and it's bittersweet, man. I'm beyond blessed and fortunate to go out on top and go out the way I did. It's more than I ever could have asked for, and it was a crazy way to end it.
Man, that you can't end it. Well, the only way you could end it any better is to see in the classic.
That would be area there.
Well, let me talk to you, Garrett. You're done with school and college fishing. What are your plans? Are you going to stay with competitive fishing? Or are you going to move into a different area and do this for fun? What's your future look like?
I want to do it competitively, man. Getting to travel to college has made me very, very competitive. This is the most I'll get to travel in my life, and I feel like if I step away, I will lose that edge and just compete. And I'm going to try to fish the opens, at least the division, or however they structure the opens next year, and maybe some other stuff depending on how much stuff I can raise and just the way stuff shakes out. I definitely want to fish a division of the opens, maybe some Southern Toyotas, or maybe even the MPFL. I like doing the whole no scope thing, so I could see myself jumping in that too, just depending on how everything shakes out.
Very exciting.
No way I could go work in an office. I would go insane.
Well, I can appreciate that, and that's an exciting path. A lot to look forward to, especially with the upcoming bracket that you guys are going to get involved with. And Andrew, a little bit different path for you right now. In the next year, you've got another year. How in the world are you going to replace Garrett, man? It's not that easy to find a good team partner.
No, it's not. I mean, I tell you what, having a partner like him, the key to success in college fishing is having somebody you can be versatile with. You trust each other. We trust each other. We can, I know when it's time to let him, do his thing when it was something he's good at, and same, vice versa. So it's going to be something. I don't know. I really don't know what that's going to look like coming up this year, but I'm sure William, our coach, he's recruiting a bunch of good fellas, so I'm sure I'll be able to find somebody.
Yeah, that's great advice in finding somebody that you can trust, and it takes a little while to build trust like that.
Yeah, but, and I'll tell you, we had our string of some rough tournaments, didn't we, Garrett?
Oh yeah, that first fall
we did.
And it was brutal. We struggled to get it going, trusting each other. But once we got settled and used to fishing around each other, things started clicking and started happening.
Yeah. How did you guys get there? Was it taking the losses and learning the lessons, or just spending time fishing with each other? How did you guys get there?
Fishing with each other. The more we fished with each other, we could understand how each person thinks and develop a trust that, hey, he's got a gut feeling to go pull up on this point, or I got a gut feeling in the pocket. And that's what developed over time. And I'll be honest, we both made decisions in this tournament based off of feeling, and we had to just trust each other.
Exactly. And yeah, that was the biggest thing, is like this tournament, especially with it being so tough and just like, especially with the shallow deal, like we would pull into a pocket and fish for 5 minutes and be gone. And, we might pull in there and catch 2 in a row, and we might pull in there and catch nothing. But, that was how this tournament played out with,
A great example of that was the second morning. We stopped in a pocket. It had a big marina in it, and we had never really fished the bank there. We pull in, we see some bank grass. We're like, boom, that looks good. We pull right there. Never really fished it. Catch 2 keepers, troll across the pocket, and we see another little place with some bank grass, 3-pounder, and then we roll on to the next one. Just riding around looking.
And we hadn't even practiced in there. So that was another key, was just fishing new water.
And that is amazing, because we talk about, that's one of our mantras here at Bass U, is never take practice out of your tournament.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In order to win big, you've got to be looking at new water and new ideas, and you guys did that. Who's the boat captain? Like, how do you decide who's on the trolling motor? Who's driving the boat? How do you guys determine that?
It depends on what we're doing. You know, like usually if we're on the bank, he's buzzbaiting. He's buzzbaiting and I'm swimming a jig or throwing a jig behind him. And when we was offshore, I was running the trolling motor. So I guess it's just like you say, it's just a feel thing. So I'm confident in him. Like I'm more confident in him throwing a buzzbait than I'm confident in myself throwing one. So it's just a feeling, and I'm not offended at all if I'm on the front of my boat and he says, "Hey, let me jump around you real quick." I'm not offended by that.
Yep, and that's like this week we were out of my rig, but you see in the clip he's up there on the front. Well, I don't want to be up there. He is better at that. I want him to be the one doing that, making the precision cast, because that's just the fact of the matter. And I don't want to. I'm hindering myself and my teammate. If we're in this tournament, why I don't need to be up there. If I'm gonna not as good as my partner, I got to trust him to do his job and execute. And with Andrew, I completely trust him to do that.
Man, that you can hear it in your dialogue, guys. You guys have spent a few years cultivating this partnership, this team, as evidenced by two massive wins. One of the factors, and I've talked to a lot of college teams over the years, and selecting it's important that you like each other.
Oh yeah.
And that yeah. Right. One of the teams we were interviewing said that was the number one factor in selecting a team. And Andrew, this is going to come into play for you real soon, because you've got to find a new team partner. But you're going to spend a heck of a lot of time around each other fishing, and you should get along. And you guys seem to really get along.
Yep. Yeah, we do.
How did you find each other?
Well,
it kind of happened.
Yeah. So like you say, so Garrett was a junior when I was a freshman, and he actually the main thing that kind of got it started is like one of the first tournaments I ever fished as a college angler. Like I got to college, I was all giddy. Our first tournament was on Pickwick Lake. And I got there and my motor blew up, and I was like, man, it just all came down on me on my first tournament. And I was looking for a boat around. I was looking for somebody that had a boat because I didn't have a boat for the tournament. And Garrett was like, yeah, you can use mine. So my dad actually drove halfway to meet me with Garrett's boat. So I used his boat for one of my first tournaments. And then I actually later on that year, the same problem, had boat issues, and he let me borrow his boat for another tournament. So that was really kind of what got it going.
Yes, 100%. I was fortunate enough. We were making a long run at Pickwick, and I chose to use my mentor's boat from high school, my old boat captain, and I had my boat just sitting there. And I was like, well, why not let him use it? It's no big deal at all. And it started from there. We stayed together. We fished a SC Bass Nation, actually against each other for Tony Gray, and he stayed with us down there as well, and that was pretty cool. And we got to go pre-fishing that weekend before, and we had a great time fishing with each other, and it just kind of built from all that.
Well, man, what a success story! What about pet peeves? Like, is Andrew terrified of snakes, or what? What do you guys learned about each other?
As long as I get my Red Bull in the morning, I'm usually pretty good. If
I don't have yeah, that's the truth.
You gotta get some problem, but no, we make it work, man. It just there's not too much we do that bothers each other. We just try to communicate and talk. I mean, you have to talk it out, because if he was doing something and I never said a word, that's not fair to him if I'm aggravated at him or something.
Do you guys practice together? Are you allowed to practice separately for these tournaments?
We are, but we ain't practiced. we ain't been practicing separate. I mean, we've always just practiced together. I mean, and I'll part of that's due to, you know, usually like when we take my boat, it's because something's wrong with his boat, or when we take his boat, it's because something's wrong with my boat. So we can't always really practice separate, but it's just, we've always just practiced together. Usually that's just how it falls.
Yeah, and I enjoy practicing together. It lets both people be on the same. Because, like, if you have two people, I feel like, and they both go do something, like, if, you know, I haven't been in his boat all week and he's been just smashing them down the lake. Well, I've been smashing them in the river. We both are going to want to do that, and there's going to be a conflict there. If we've been practicing together,
that's right.
Feel out how we feel the tournament should go, and it makes us work. It just makes us be on the same page, and we can agree on what to do, how to rotate stuff, and get the same feel for the tournament.
That's interesting. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, because even in the high school, sometimes we practice together and sometimes separate. But I agree, practicing together, that offers. They both offer assets, right? You can cover a lot more water separately, but building that team concept, man, practicing together is key. Certainly key for you guys. You know.
Yes, sir.
I want to go back to this. Show me that buzzbait again. Let me see this. Let me see this weapon of choice.
Yep.
What that's a double buzz. What
yeah, it is.
What's going on here? What brand is that? What frog's on there? What do you got going on there?
We'll give you the rundown right quick. So this is kind of like a regional specialty from the Carolinas. It's a True South double buzz. I really prefer, we both do, to throw a toad. The quarter out, the tiny quarter ounce blade, or the quarter size blades, it just in high pressure situations when there's tons of people throwing it, it gets more bites. It does. And they do better, and it's just different, and they bite it. White toad, obviously, because they're on shad with silver blades as well. And it's just a staple. I've been fortunate to grow up here in this area, and the Carolinas are buzzbait capital. And that's just as simple as that. A lot of our guys around here throw it. It's not like a super secret or anything like that, but it always helps in these high pressure tournaments when everybody else is throwing a clacker or a single blade, throwing off a big wake. These things are just barely going through the water, and they munch it.
Is that a Zoom Horny Toad?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a Zoom Horny Toad.
Okay. Trailer hook or no?
No. I don't hardly ever. Andrew, you can speak about this for yourself here, but for me personally, I don't like throwing a trailer hook on it's when I'm throwing a frame like this, just without a skirt or anything. I feel like with that toad, they have something to actually grab, and if they're missing it, it's usually a color speed issue. But if I'm throwing something with a skirt, yes, I will put a trailer hook on it, but I don't hardly ever. And plus, it interferes with the action of my legs. I want them kicking free, and that trailer hook will hang down there and cause them not to kick and stuff like that.
I got you. Okay. Well, I talk about trailer hooks because I remember your interview, and you talked about overcoming adversity. What happened? Did you guys lose some fish, or did you guys deal with some issues out there?
Not necessarily. This tournament just felt a lot different than last year. I feel like, last year, everything just like, we caught our fish, and like the last day of the tournament before the weigh-in, it felt perfect. It felt like we're going to win. Like everything absolutely went flawless, didn't lose anything. And it was just perfect, but this tournament just felt kind of weird because, for one, going into the final day, we were 3 pounds back, and I thought, well, shoot, all they got to do is catch, 10 or 11 pounds. So we both thought that we were going to have 15 plus to win. And I'll say this, it's going to sound crazy, but day 3, like, it was tough. Like we felt like we didn't catch them good enough to win, because we're like, well, shoot, they would have to really slip up for us to win. And the main thing that like we were aggravated about is day 3, we had a dead fish. And it was like 1.5 pounds, and we caught one late in the day that was like 2. We caught one that was a little under 2.5 pounds that we just had to throw back because we had a dead fish. So that's why we were so aggravated. It just kind of this, like I said, it was just a little different than last year, but. And we had a couple missed opportunities, a couple of first mornings on that, that swim jig and like that shad-related bite around the bank grass. We lost a couple solid fish, but it all worked out, So it just had to add a little bit extra stress to us, but the fish off was awesome. So I ain't complaining one bit about anything.
Well, shoot, man, I've had to do that where you got to call around the fish.
Yeah.
Oh, that breaks your heart, and you hate to lose a fish even, but that would have, you would have avoided the fish off had you been able to weigh that fish.
Yeah.
Crazy. We had that one die. It just up and died, man. It was a beat up. It was probably a late spawner, and it just kind of up and died. And he caught the last two late that really cold up from like a 160, like just over 2, and then he caught another 2.5. We had to toss one that would have helped us by probably half a pound, and it just can't do nothing. You can't call a dead one, and got to work around it.
Yep. Yeah, that's the rules, and that didn't matter to you guys because you freaking crushed this thing. Let me ask you this: how's life at Landers College? Like, you guys have both been in the fishing program there, and Tell me about the college.
It's great. I enjoy it. I think the team does a pretty good job. We all try to work together. The school works with us with travel. They pretty lenient on letting us go because we miss a lot in the spring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, do the teachers? Are you allowed to make up exams or get homework done on the road, or how does that work as a college student?
Yeah, I mean we're allowed to do. Pretty much it seems like all, college work is online now. So we can do school, online while we're on the road. And like some teachers obviously are more lenient than others, that's just how you just going to have that. But as far like, we're not a club. We're not, so we're a sports team. We're under athletics. So yes, like they got, they'll give us excused and we'll be excused we'll have excused absences. And usually if we have an exam and as long as we let our professor know that we're going to be gone ahead of time, they're fine with it.
Man, that's great. Do you ever get caught in a situation where you're the night before the national championship, you have to like finish in a
I've never before a national championship, but multiple occasions in regular tournament, like regular Bassmaster tournaments, multiple occasions this year.
Yeah, like
that's rough.
Friday, Saturday, like 11:30. Like, all right, type in another discussion post. 3 responses. Here we go.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
That's commitment, guys. I'm impressed. I'm proud of you guys. I travel with a buddy. Brooks Parker, he goes to Montevello, and he's been traveling with me from time to time. And I watch him, we get in from fishing for 12 hours, and then he stays up for another 2-3 hours doing his work. It's man, hats off to you guys. I know that's not an easy job. That's congratulations on getting through that, and it's great that Landers really accommodates you that way. Do you guys how does the program? Do you guys have team meetings? Do you just meet during the tournaments? Do you have like a boat yard, or what goes on down there?
We have a team meeting. We usually have a team meeting before tournament. We'll kind of go over what's travel plans, and then we'll have another one probably once a month or so, just kind of a state of the team address. It's nothing too crazy. It's not super like we do have to do this, and this all the time. It's very relaxed. Right. A lot of Liam is very much just kind of, you guys do your thing. I'm here for this. You need me, you call me, we'll handle it. Stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. How many guys are on the team?
Ooh, what are we at? Like something? Or are we over 30? I don't know off the top of my head.
I think we're right around 40. I'm not 100% sure.
Wow.
But we got. I mean, it's kind of like you say. I mean, I would say there's about 10 boats that travel. Wouldn't you say, Garrett? 10 or more, maybe 12.
We have I would say there's a 10 boat rotation probably that travels. We have a couple more that fish a lot of the local stuff in the fall. So we probably have, we have at least 12 boats that you'll see at any of our events, but we'll just kind of rotate through those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Okay. So does your coach, like, do you have to go like on 5-mile runs for physical fit and hit gates, or what? Is there any training other than fishing going on over there?
No, not really. We all get together on the local Lake Greenwood. That's only about 10 minutes from the school, and we all, by the time, them fish know when we show up, because they get we beat them poor old fish to death over there.
That's your local body of water?
Yes, sir. It's about 10 minutes from campus, and usually after class you can pull up and see at least 5, maybe 10 lander boats every day.
Yeah, this was really, really good, and I think the whole team was going out there every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's the time on the water is the best training.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you guys are in an area that you've got a lot of great waterways that are a pretty short drive.
Yes, sir. We very fortunate. Lake Murray, that's probably my personal favorite. I'm actually here today, and it's only about an hour. Lake Hartwell's about an hour. I mean, so we've got all these great fisheries, just right within about an hour and some change, some of them.
That's fantastic. That helps so much, because that's where most of the tournaments are, so you're learning on those, even the Tennessee River bodies of water are very, very close. So you guys can get practice there. That's great. Well, you guys have, man, they're going to have like monuments at the university, at the foyer when you walk in. That's what's going on.
Shoot, I don't know about
that. I'd love it. I'd like to see a Rocky statue when you enter the main buildings at Landers. I'll call the coach. I'll have a talk with him. See,
that sounds good. Get after him and O'Brien Reese.
We love that.
See what we can do. I'm curious. What is like you get the hardware? What do you win for the national championship? You got the berth into the next one, but is there scholarship money or prizes, or what's there?
They pay. Bassmaster alone pays each of us $2,500, and then last year when we won like a bunch of the Minn Kota, the Johnson Outdoors guys did a great job with. They gave us an Ultra, or they gave us a Quest, Helix, a 360 unit, and there was something else, Andrew. I can't remember what the last thing was.
A charger, battery charger.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Lot of good prizes. That's very cool. I thought there was the scholarship. I guess that's the high school stuff that gives all that scholarship.
Yeah. I would say that's, yes, sir. That's probably more the high school.
Yeah. Okay. Well, man, 2 years in a row. You got one more. You got to do a three-peat now, Andrew. I know you're going to have to replace a tough guy to replace, but has anybody ever been a 3-time champ?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
Shoot, nobody's ever done the back-to-back for Bassmaster, and I know nobody's ever won 3 of them in general. I hope he does it though. He's got more records to set.
That's so nobody has ever done back-to-back. You guys are it.
Not for Bassmaster. Nobody has ever done back-to-back.
You stand alone. Well, congratulations on that, and man,
thank you, sir.
So awesome. I what a great pattern. What a great way to do it, guys. I appreciate you coming and hanging out at Bass U and telling us about it.
Dude, it was a great experience being on here.
Well, it's great having you. Garrett, maybe I'll see you out on the Opens next year.
Yes, sir. Hopefully so. Hopefully you're having me back, because I've snuck around and won one of them.
Heck yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm going to be fishing the Open on the Chesapeake here in 2 weeks. And,
that's right.
Yeah. We're going to do our best to try to stay in the boat and not fall in this time. But
yeah, that's right.
no problem.
I remember that video.
Well, we're gonna try to stay in this time. I'm excited for that. I'll be fishing that, and then we go down to the Bassmaster High School National Championship down at Clark Hill. So we'll be down in your neck of the woods. And
yeah, that's in our backyard.
That'll be a fun, and that'll be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. My son is there. He just graduated sophomore. Him and his partner are both going into their junior year. So we're excited. It's the second time that they fished together in the national championship. So
awesome.
We took our beating down at Chickamauga last year, but the kids really stepped up. So we're looking forward to having a good tournament down at Clark Hill, having fun doing it. And I appreciate you guys so much. Andrew, stay in touch. Keep us posted as you go through and, take on the three-peat.
Yes, sir. I will.
We'll be rooting for that for sure. We'd love to see it. And thanks again, guys. I appreciate you. We'll look forward to seeing you out on the water sometime.
Yes,
all
sir.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Garrett and Andrew, national champs. How about that? 2 in a row. What an amazing feat, amazing group of guys that, gosh, you can just hear it in them, how they work together, how they seamlessly, have developed this team that focuses on each other's strengths. We all, any of you guys that fish team tournaments, which probably everybody watching this show, that's a key. You focus on your guys' strengths. And, if you're weak in that area, you let your partner go and you recognize when that is and you celebrate him for doing good at what he's really good at. They did it 2 times in a row. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to be talking a little ICAST talk. So hang in there with us. We'll be right back after this.
We're off the clock to clock more fish, to fill our live wells and empty our coolers, because there's more to explore. The latest Humminbird fish finders work fast, see clearly, and know all the best spots. They fish even smarter paired with the Minn Kota and break down the water like never before. If you like your plans loose and lines tight, then it's time to explore. Only with Humminbird. Get right to the fight. New Mega Live 2 forward-facing sonar puts you on more fish with an ultra-clear, rock-solid picture of underwater action. Next-gen clarity, next-level fun. Only with Humminbird.
Do you love bass fishing? Then you have to check out Bass University.
Access over 1,000 bass fishing seminars and episodes.
Get discounts on the tackle from your favorite tackle brand.
Learn the latest techniques from the top pros.
And never stop learning. And never stop learning.
And never, ever stop learning. Welcome to the Bass University.
Welcome to Bass University.
Welcome to Bass University.
Welcome to the Bass University.
Welcome to Bass University.
The original Element rods were really Cashin's first launch, kind of in a price point level. With that, we got a lot of feedback.
And that's what brought about the Element Z2 and its launch. The most affordable American-made rod on the market.
Mother Nature may be tough. I'm tougher. I'll take you where chaos is the cost of entry and where the fish are worth the fight. Because the bigger the question marks, the better the quest.
Love my Cashin rods and my Humminbird mapping, the Lake Master mapping. Oh my gosh. We spent a lot of time studying that as we prepare for upcoming tournament that, Clark Hill, we don't know that place. So, man, what an asset to have that amazing Humminbird mapping to use. So, hey, Bash you. Justin, first of all, how about that? Back to back, man. Those guys, what an incredible run.
Pretty crazy, man. Just the fish off in itself is insane.
I mean, you can't help but heartbreak over the second place team because, like I said, they both won. You know, they both won that tournament.
Yep.
Somebody's, you know, they got to have a method to separate them, and it's heartbreaking for that. But what a great man! Just sight unseen, just on pattern fishing with a short time, and guessing right and finding an isolated rock. Can you imagine? You're in overtime, right? You're in a fish off. You pull up on a random point you've never fished. You scope out there, and boom, there's 3 fish hovering over a boulder. You know?
Yeah, I mean, what a call by them to not run to their stuff and just put the trolling motor in the water and fish, man.
Heck yeah.
You know?
Who knows what would have happened had they made the run? You know, like they said, they could have been halfway into their boat ride and said it's over.
Yeah, exactly. So they made the right call, and it worked out. So
you think about that, like there's fish off strategies, right? Those guys didn't have time to prepare a strategy. They didn't have time to think, well, if we tie him, we got to do a fish off. You know, we'll fish close. You know, they pulled that audible, man, and amazing stuff. But we were talking about hummingbird and mapping, guys. Last week we released Brian Thrift's hummingbird seminar. If you guys are using, and I know just about everybody has a hummingbird in their boat, whether they're using it for mapping or 360 or Mega Live 2 or down imaging, whatever you're using it for, Brian really dives in. And, you know, whether you're new to sonar, learning how 2D and down imaging works and when and why to use it, side imaging. He's got such a cool strat on how he uses his side imaging screens. And then, of course, all the way up through 360 and Mega Live 2. That's available right now on Bass University. Go check that out, guys. And Fletcher Shryock is coming with his flipping and pitching strategies that is going to be released this week. Love it. You know what I mean? I gotta say, Justin, and I think you're this way too, but I fell in love with bass fishing with a flipping rod in my hand.
Same here.
It's there's something about it. Like, you know, everybody likes fishing a different way, and I mean, I like to catch them whatever way they're biting, to be honest. But man, there's something about that flipping stick when you pitch it out there, and you throw a piece of heavy habitat, and you feel that thunk, and there's that moment from when you recognize you got a bite until you set the hook, and you don't know if he's going to be 12 inches or 12 pounds, and it's just, that's a thrill, man. That's one of the biggest thrills in fishing as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, just getting to jack them close quarters fishing, nothing better. I wish my tournament, you figured it out the last year on the Toyotas, that when you have the flipping stick in your hand, that's when money gets put into the bank. I wish it was that way for me. It's not that way for me. It just doesn't, it never shapes up for me in tournament situations, but
it's funny.
I love doing it.
It's funny because it's not always the technique that you like the most that is your best technique.
Yeah.
You think about that for a second. Like I thought I was a crankbait guy. I really did. I mean, and I still love to fish a crankbait, a square bill, deep, whatever it is, man. I'm happy. Like if I can crank in like 10 foot or less, it's like, man, I love doing that. And I thought that was, and I got checks doing that. I've done well doing that. But when I actually looked at the stats, man, I never won a tournament cranking. And I don't know why, because I love it so much. But when I won tournaments flipping, and and I started looking at my own strengths and weaknesses, and I found out that flipping was it for me. So that's a great tool. I recommend all the people that I work with is try to identify your strengths and your weaknesses and really focus on that if you're a tournament guy. And if you're just a guy that wants to catch fish, you learn a lot by identifying that. It was interesting to listen to those two guys talk about each other's strengths.
Yeah.
How they seamlessly, give way. All right. Andrew's our deep water guy. This is his strength. You're taking the trolling motor. You're going to work this point, and I'm going to support you in that effort.
Yep.
And Garrett's up on the bank. That's his strength wheelhouse, and that's huge as a team tournament. Being able to, seamlessly move back and forth and trust each other that way. That's a pretty big deal.
100%. I mean, they won back to back, so whatever their strategy is clearly one that some college and high school kids ought to replicate for sure.
Yep. But we got a big deal going on this week. Our whole group is down making their move down to ICAST. Shout out to Jocelyn and Riz and Jeff Olson.
Shout out Jeff Olson
and the folks at the ASA. And we're gonna there's a lot going on down at ICAST, man. I've been seeing a lot come across my social feeds. There's a lot of really exciting and interesting baits, and
I picked a few during the break to show.
Awesome. What
on the show?
You got caught your eye?
First, I just want to say, remember when ICAST, you didn't know what any of the baits were until it was ICAST. Now everything gets released. But all right, obviously the theme. There's a theme every year. The theme this year is the dice baits.
Yes.
So we have Strike Kings releasing a couple, the tumbleweed, the floating, and the salted. And Z-Man's releasing, they have like 3 or 4 different ones, but here's 2 of them. Obviously the nuggets and the bugs. So
look at those guys.
The dice is the dice is in. That's what's in right now. I'll see if I had my homemade dice, but I think I left them in the boat from the St. Lawrence.
Well, I remember, what was it, 2 years ago or was it last year? Michael Neal, stuck in my head. He was drop shotting and doing extremely well in the tournament, and he's up at night threading, skirt through his drop shot plastics.
Yep.
His jigs, I guess, or his Neds or whatever, making them fuzzy, recognizing that it was a trend back then. So he's manufacturing his own stuff. So
yep,
here we go, man. It's
something different. It'll be not cool this time next year, and there'll be something different.
Yeah,
gotta give the fish a different look. All right, continuing to go down the trend.
Well, wait, okay. Remember, I want to comment here real quick. VMC came out with the nail weights with the rubber skirt material. This was several years ago now.
Yeah. Well, what was that company that was doing the skirt and like the beavers and stuff years ago? Oh gosh, it's gonna kill me not knowing.
You talking about like punch skirt?
No. Like they had just like their own version of a sweet beaver, but it had skirt coming out the sides, and it was a lime green package. Somebody's got to know what I'm talking about here. Let me look in the chat.
Yeah. It's so funny. They were at the forefront of this, and
it never caught on. It
never caught on until the Japanese guys started coming out with that dice.
Tight lines UV.
Tight lines UV. Yes.
Do you remember? Yeah.
I do. I remember that, and I remember thinking this is stupid, and I always think that. I am so bad about turning my nose up at these new ideas, and then they wind up being friggin' home runs.
They're still on Tackle Warehouse. I'll bring it up real quick just so people don't think I'm lying. But the Tight Lines UV stuff was around. I remember getting a pack of these when I was 11, 12 years old. Here's one of their baits right here. They got the skirt coming out of the side.
There they are.
That's not an eye-cast bait. That's been around for a long time. But
yep, look at that. Well,
all they had to do was make it a smaller piece of plastic and put the skirt in it, and they would have been the trend.
Yep. Shout out to Howie Raines. What's up, buddy? And Dan McGarry, what are you doing back home in New Jersey? You're a South Carolinian now. I guess you're back home for a visit, or back this way for a visit. And what's up, Caden? Good to have you guys hanging out with us today. Well, what else you got in the?
All right, so let's keep going down the line here of trends. This is Missile Baits. Their Freedom Flyer 4.2 inch. It's obviously a Damiki rig bait. I'm sure you can fish it like a fluke as well, and you can kind of see the jig head there, but they have coming out with a unique jig head that's got
it's got a welded
welded split ring for the line tie, so it helps your bait roll. So that looks like it'll be a unique Damiki rig bait. Shout out Missile Baits. And I'm just wondering, man. I mean, all these companies are coming out with Damiki rig baits for ping and a minnow, but I think everybody's stuck up on the Sakamata. I don't know if you're ever going to get the Sakamata out of anybody's hands.
There's no doubt that sold out just about, everywhere you go. And I know guys are studying, they're trying to replicate it, duplicate it. A lot of companies are, but I think the biggest trend in that, one of the biggest trends is the size. Like you're seeing a lot of 6 and 7 inch.
Yeah, for sure. And it was the 3 and 4 inch. Now it's the 6 and 7.
Yep. And I know Missile, one of their options on their bait you just showed was
they have a 4.2 and a 6.
Yep,
I believe for that bait. So that bait looks good, man.
Yeah, it definitely does. I love the jig head. It looks. I watched a video of that in action. It looked pretty spectacular. But I know my of the fuzzy baits. Do you have any more you're going to show?
No, these are the 4 that I picked.
Come on, how could you not pick the fuzzy Senko? Did you not see that one?
I don't know if Tackle Warehouse had that on their first look page when I was looking through it.
Yep,
it's not in the fuzzy. They have a fuzzy TRD, but I did not see the Senko.
They got the Yama Tanuki, I think it's called, where they.
Oh, okay, so it's the Yama Tanuki with skirt in it,
and the Senko. Yep.
Are you going to be throwing that, Pete? Are you going to be Dean's rigging the Senko with?
I'm sure I'm going to give it a roll.
Will you?
I'm always late to the party, but I may give this one a try. I'm such a stick bait guy, so why not? I'll give it a go. I saw Big Bite Baits is also, they have a series. I think they're 4-inch variety stick bait that that I saw them releasing with as part of iCast.
Yep.
Shout out to Big Bite Baits. But fuzziness is definitely a trend. What else?
I got 2 more, Pete. Now we're getting into the cool stuff. All right, so Strike King's coming out with a glide bait. It's called the Hogfather, and I believe this was designed by Tater Hog, which is a custom lure maker. I don't know, all the deets on that, but they collabed to make a friendly, price-friendly glide, and I saw a couple videos on it from KBD, and looks legit.
Nice.
Yep, Hogfather Jr. I know you're going to be looking into that.
I'm looking around right now. I'm wearing my Berkeley shirt, and I know they're releasing some cool stuff in conjunction with iCast this year. And I'm trying to look up the name of some of those new baits. I gotta find it. They have a bluegill profile that is max scent that's porous. It's got, it's tremendous.
Well, I don't think Berkeley's going to iCast.
I know they're not attending, but their bait releases are there.
Yes, I haven't I didn't see anything on that. I was looking for the frog that's been hinted on the show multiple times.
Yep.
Still haven't seen anything on that. The last bait that I got is the 6 Cents Bodega creature, which is gotten some hype on social media from a lot of the guides in Texas, and looks like it's legit bait, and they got some different sizes coming out. I think like a 4.5 and a little bit smaller ones, but I'm gonna have to pick a couple of these up for sure.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot. That's a big bait.
Yeah, it's from a couple videos I saw that I was watching on it, a lot of guys were saying wherever you would throw a 10-inch worm or a 12-inch worm, it's where you would throw the Bodega.
Yep. Those tails are giant, man. That's really an interesting bait. I've been seeing a lot of social media on it as well.
Yep. But all right, those are the iCast highlights from yours truly.
The Flux Gill from Berkeley is the name of that bait.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, one of the other things that we when we were at the Pure Fishing facility is they have the forward braid, which is a really cool braided line. It's a fused braid that is designed to be able to give you like up to 30% additional casting distance, which is super cool, when we're dealing with having to make, this time of year, especially we've got to make those long casts in the summertime to activate those fish that are way out there.
Yeah, and the sinking braid, I don't know if that's a sinking braid also, but the sinking braid has been a big, you see a lot of guys using it for the forward-facing sonar stuff.
Yep. Good stuff. And anything else strike you?
Nope, those were my 4.
Okay. Well, we'll recap some of the hot ones once we get all the deets in, and we get to see what everybody's releasing down there. Great time of year if you're into fishing. Obviously, everything's coming out. All the new baits and new designs that'll take me about 5 to 10 years before I adopt them. Justin,
I'm the same way, unfortunately.
I know. I wish I was more cutting edge that way, but it takes a little bit of scooching to get me to add something to my arsenal.
Yeah, I prefer to go the John Cox route. I just keep it simple, stupid with the stuff that I'm throwing.
Yep. Yeah. That's definitely a smart strategy a lot of times, but man, Epic Eric always influences me, man. It's exciting to see the new and the fun stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Colors and
it's cool. Yeah, it
makes fishing fun.
Makes you spend a lot of money.
Yep. Rob Jordan is another one that and of course these guys are our bait mod specialists on Bass University, and I ordered some baits from Rob Jordan a while back. We should be getting them anytime soon, but he does a lot of custom work, guys. If you're looking for baits that resemble a herring, man, oh man, the stuff that Rob's putting together is fantastic. So you can go check out Rob's website, and you can order those baits. I got a few of those coming to the house. So
show me them when you get them.
Yeah, well, we'll show them on the show after we're holding the national championship trophy with the boys.
Come on.
In a couple weeks.
And the Bass Open trophy right next to it.
That's right. Yep. We're going to take a pause next week for the Bass Open. Riz and I will both be competing in that. And, come on down to the Bass Open on the Chesapeake. We'll be down there talking Bass University stuff. So come on down and see us. Hopefully we'll be the guys with the big bags. And the following week I'll be down at the National Championship. So check out Flipping and Pitching with Fletcher Shryock this week, guys. If it's a technique you don't have confidence in, man, these guys are one of the best. The Shryoks, both Hunter and Fletcher, are both amazing shallow water anglers. And you want to learn their strategies on flipping and pitching. So
no doubt.
Go check that out, as well as the Brian Thrift recent release and all the other great stuff at Bass University. And we're going to tease you that we've got some new stuff coming at Bass University. Some big announcements that we're going to be making the next couple of weeks. So
big is an understatement. Huge.
We're very excited. We know you guys are going to like some of the new stuff that we're going to be providing to you guys. Look forward to making those announcements. Look for that to come later in the summer, and we'll keep you guys posted. But we'll keep teasing you guys with that. In the meantime, get out there, enjoy some summertime fishing. Look at, man, I really like that hat.
Yeah, you're matching.
Yeah,
shout out Jordan. I fished with Jordan up at the St. Lawrence River, and he had that. That's a fresh one. I gave him that freshie red, white, and BU, but you should have seen his red, white, and BU hat that I had to update, and that thing's seen some stuff. It was worn out, but shout out to Jordan.
Good fish, Jordan. That looks like what?
You know where that is, Pete?
Clayton?
No, it's in New York. It's a place that you do not like.
Oh, that's Oneida?
Yep. Yep.
Hey, you know what? As much as I hate on Oneida, and I apologize to Oneida, but Oneida hates me. And it's such like, and the gobies have gotten in there. The bass have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger in that lake. So I'm going to have to get up there and give it another shot. We'll see.
Yep.
Thanks, Brent.
That's all we got.
Thanks for pushing the buttons today, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Filling in for everybody. We look forward to we'll see you guys in a couple weeks, and in the meantime, get out there and do some fishing. We'll see you soon on Bass University Live. Have a great day, everybody.